lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Westside Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Left behind like dust in the wind, Connecticut. They've saddled up and they head south to the Carolinas. Let the assault begin on this old railroad town tonight because the Outlaws have let themselves in again on Saturday night short track racing in America on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing Channel. Tonight, the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series brings you round 3 with the Outlaw 100 from Midland, North Carolina. Welcome home, everyone. I'm Sean Ambrose, and back in the booth with me tonight for an evening with the Outlaws is Chris Scala. In the control room, twisting and tweaking the dials, the dean of the decibels, Joe Peak. Dougie Beard behind the camera tonight, bringing it to you live and in Technicolor all season. Good evening, everyone. Man, we find ourselves at Concord Speedway. Chris, so happy to have you back. This is going to be a hot one tonight. Tell us about it a little bit.
Well, we have a very unique racetrack. I've heard some comparisons to Pocono, a lot smaller. Some comparisons to Phoenix, not as much smaller, but still, it's a track of its own. Some say it has 5 turns, some says it has 3, some says it has 4. Point is, you got a very fun high bank track with degrees of banking from 10 up to 14. And just so much fun racing. I've been watching the racing so far today in the Bootleg Series, and it's been great around here. We're getting ready for a fun 100-lap show around this half-mile track, pretty much right outside of Concord, North Carolina, which is, well, where Charlotte Motor Speedway is. But this is a small track, and, of course, back in the day from 1956 to 1964, in those years, the Cup cars, actually known as the Sportsman Series back there, ran here at this track. So we're looking forward to a very fun show on a track that's very unique in style, has its history, and as you'll see here in the lap guide, it has its unique style too.
Hello guys, this is James Carhulan to GSRC SK Modified. I'm going to take you for a lap around Concord Speedway. One of the more unique tracks here in the country. 3 very distinct turns. Turn 3 is definitely a little bit more sweeping, coming down the short front stretch here. Turn 1 is a very tight apex, but leads into the dog leg, and turn 2, these cars should have enough grip to be able to run that wide open, and down into the sweeping turn 3 back onto the front stretch. Each turn is going to act completely different than the last. But this is a track where it's not very wide, and as challenging as it is, getting a good run off of turn 1 and trying to sneak down, keep that momentum up through the dog leg and try and sneak down below your competitor coming into turn 3. If not, you're going to have to use that chrome horn on the front bumper. Putting your car in a good position and keeping it clean will be key here to coming home with a good finish. And that is how you get around the Concord Speedway.
And that is a couple of very, very fast laps around Concord Speedway here with you tonight on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Welcome back, everybody. Chris, man, I'll tell you what, this is going to be a great race tonight. We've taken a moment to pull in J.R. Shepard. J.R. already got a podium finish tonight in the late models. J.R., how's the track feel on the modified right now?
Hey Sean, it's got a lot more grip than what we had during the late model race there. There's about 20 degrees cooler out there.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. The times show that as well. JR, you started on the pole last week, led a few laps, and had a pretty decent points night. What do you think about your chances here tonight?
I'm not a big fan of this Concord track. Ran pretty decent in the late models earlier, but we'll see how it works out tonight. Maybe we'll have a decent run.
Not a very forgiving track, is it? You really have to hit your marks, and mistakes cost you a lot of time, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. You get your mind on something else for just a second, you'll lose a lot of time.
Well, that's the driver of the number 98, J.R. Shepard. We wish you the best tonight, buddy. Go get him and go burn down a few more practice laps here while we still have a little bit of time. I'm going to throw it to Chris real quick. He's going to talk to you a little bit about how we do things here in the Bootleg Outlaw Modified Series. Chris, take it away.
Yeah, it's a very unique concept that they do here at the Bootleg Racing League. They invert the field by the top 8. So basically, you go back to last week's race at Stafford Motor Speedway. The top 8 from that race inverted, basically. So we'll see the lineup here in just a few minutes. And I have a weird feeling that Ernie Brown will be on the pole tonight. So we'll see that coming up. Fixed setups, 16-gallon fuel loads, single file restarts. Lap cars are in the back. Typical short track style, pretty much. Way by rule, it is in effect. Basically, first car a lap or more down that did not cause a caution will get that waiver on. Here's the deal. You have one set of tires this whole entire race, and it's the ones on your car. No tire changes allowed at all. You do have one fast repair you can use, and that's what sets this up to be just a fun short track race. And if you're new to watching the Bootleg Racing League here on GSRC, you are in for a treat coming up.
Let's talk a little bit about the championship. Got quite a battle going on already. 2 races into the season. Matt Shinoski up top with 24 points, but John Holcomb off to a really good start. Finds himself just a point behind, and Richard Blake back there just 2 points behind in third. Richard also having a really good start to the season. Jeff Sharp, our winner from last week, finds himself with a great points night, obviously, and gets himself up to 4th. And then you've got Donnie Moore back there sitting in 5th, but I got to tell you, the battle from just behind him, only 2 points separate him and 4 other drivers, so that's a great battle for the championship we've got going right now. Chris, tell us a little bit about how the points work.
Yeah, very interesting point structure here. Starts with 14 points for the winner, and it goes down 1 point pretty much all the way down to about the 11th position. So 14 for first, 13 for second, 12 for third, so on and so forth, down to 10th, where you get 5 points, 11th you get 4, 12th and 13 get 4, 14 through 16 positions get 3 points, 17 through 20 tonight gets 2, and if they happen to get more than 20, then 1 point throughout the remaining finishers. So that's what leads to these tight point battles like we have right now, and will continue to be as long as we have the great competition we've had.
Well, last week we had a great one at Stafford, and the Outlaw 100 did not disappoint. Jeff Sharp gets his first series win. Will find himself, because of that, sitting back in 8th to start this one. But Jeff was the master of the restart last week. Donnie Moore got himself up there on the podium, and we talked about John Holcomb having a podium finish last week. Finds himself sitting pretty good in the points right now. Brad Speidel and Matt Shinoski, your points leader, rounded out the top 5. Really good one there at Stafford last week. If you missed it, you can certainly catch it replay on YouTube. But Chris, this season, giving us everything we want so far. I got to tell everyone real quick, though, you can have your name on this series. Yes, they are looking for new marketing partners and sponsors. You can contact Lowell and the guys over at bootlegracingleague.com/sponsorship. We talked about Jeff Sharp getting that big win. Chris, got a couple other things going on. It's early in this season, but man, there's still a ways to go.
Yeah, with Jeff winning that race, he moved up to 4th in points, and this is the time to make your moves in points because it's so early in the season. You want to do it before everybody gets spread out. Because of that, you got a tight chase in the top 4, even tighter for 5th. How about 4 drivers separated by not 1 but 2 points? Really? That's pretty tight, and it's only race number 3, so plenty of time to make things happen, or unfortunately, plenty of time to make things not happen. So we'll have to see what happens, and we'll see if Tim Knott can go for 2 in a row tonight and sweep it, maybe.
Yeah, Tim, the big winner of this evening in both races. Earlier tonight, we had the Whiskey Run Truck Series here at Concord. The Concord 50 saw Tim Knott win that race. Donnie Moore on the podium. Brian Neff back up to his podium form there, finishes third. Lowell Jewell in fourth. And Shinosky, there's that Matt Shinosky again in the top 5 here at Concord in the trucks. They ran 50 laps. Then they turned right around and did it again in the Concord 100. And that was in the late model, the super late. Tim Knott, your winner again. Shinosky finds himself on the podium. And J.R. Shepard has a good run. Finished third. Donnie Moore in fourth. And Brian Neff in fifth. So starting to see a trend of guys that have been fast here already this evening, Chris.
Sean, we got breaking news. Tim Knott's the fastest in practice.
That is breaking news, and he's fast by just a bit too. So, yeah, Tim favoring this track. Should have tried to get a word with him real quick. Maybe we will next time, and maybe we will before the end of the evening. It's certainly been a good one for him already. They ran Tuesday night, Chris. How'd those guys do in the Legends and the limited late models?
Well, I'll tell you what, they put on a great show when it came to the Legends 50 at Concord. Chris Hensley was your winner. A last lap move there got him the victory in the White Lightning 100 limited late models at Concord. Ron Henry, your winner in that race. So, like you said, there's been tons of great racing. Expect no less tonight with these modifieds, and we're in for a show. And of course, remember the last time you and I were in a booth together, what happened?
Yeah, we saw quite a finish, and we could see that type of finish tonight. I ran a bunch of laps here last night in the super late model, and turned just a few in the SK. The SK, totally different car than the super late here. About a 2-second difference, and a lot of grip this evening. We asked JR about that. We're seeing the times they're throwing down. I mean, could somebody turn a 14-second lap? I don't know. Tim Knott's really close with a 15:133. But the cost of a mistake, that's what we really have to look at this evening. Half-mile track, they may catch up to the back of the field quick if you make an error.
I think there's plenty of opportunity to make errors on a track like this. You don't want to see drivers make an error, but with the fast speeds, the center corner of these cars, we talked about it at Martinsville when we were there a couple weeks ago, how the center corners of these cars are so much faster than, say, an A-class or B-class cars because they're so much lighter. So you're going to see that, but you could easily go through the dog leg and go into turn 3 and smack the wall going into it. Or you could come out turn 2, smack the wall trying to apex the dog leg. Little errors like that can really hurt you, considering these cars have no really covers on these tires, and the worst thing you can do is obviously beat up on the tire by smacking the wall. So you don't want to do that tonight either. You do have the one reset, but obviously you don't want to use it early.
No, you don't want to use it early because you got 100 laps to get through, and you can't replace those tires. And this track will eat those tires up on you with the high speed and the banking. Having to stay in that line so critical. It does come at a cost at the wear on these SK modifieds, but man, we're just less than a minute right now from wrapping up practice. We're going to get to racing here really hard, really quick. What do you like tonight, Chris?
How can you not go with Tim Knott? I mean, he's been the guy to beat here at this track, but if I had to go with somebody who I've watched when I got to watch you guys last week at Stafford, and then I go back to Martinsville, Brian Neff. That's the guy, if there's a sleeper, I'm going with him because, he's been fast. He's been doing the whole diamonding or road coursing, as a certain other individual here with us likes to call it. He's been doing that a lot, and it's been helping him be fast each and every week. And though this might not be so much of a track you could do it at, I could just see Neff making the moves and working his way up there and being that surprise factor tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's not showing the speed in practice right now, but I've got a feeling he's keeping it close to the vets. He's going to have a good starting spot tonight. I think Matt Shinosky's up to championship form already here early in this season. We'll see what the old number 35 can do this evening, but the checkered flag is out. The field is getting ready to get on the grid, and we're going to have that all lined up here for you in just a moment. Chris, the speed of this track again. Going to be something to watch. Side-by-side racing could get interesting. That spectacular finish we had to start this season may show up again here tonight in just race number 3. But here is your grid here in the Outlaw 100 at Concord Speedway. On the front row, Ernie Brown starts the inside of row 1, J.R. Shepard in second. Richard Blake there on row 2, he'll start third. Matt Shinosky up there on the outside in fourth. John Holcomb will start fifth on the inside of row 3. Donnie Moore in sixth. Brian Neff will start in row 4 inside seventh. Chris Wolfson, 8th place tonight. Ryan Nuss on the inside of row 5 will be 9th. Lowell Jewell will start 10th on the outside of row 5.
And look right there in the 11th position inside row 6. That's the guy we talked about. Actually, outside, I should say. Rolf Connor's going to start 11th. Tim not there. In the 12th position, Joe Marks will start 13th. Philip Temples, who had a unfortunate bad run last week at Stafford, he'll start 14th. Shinosky, 15th. He'll be one to watch from the back. And Lucas Stinziano will start there. Last but certainly not least on the field.
All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what. This race tonight, I'm pumped up for this one. I've been looking forward to this one. I've had it marked on my calendar. They're back here this season, and I don't think we're going to disappoint. Ernie Brown, you know what? He's a good starter. I like the way he starts races. Ernie can get a little bit of clean air to play with, and these guys behind him can behave just a bit. We may get a good run out of him, but the pace car is in. It goes in all the way back there. Ernie going to come out of the turn on the inside to get to the line. And he's on it. The green flag is out. Ernie Brown across the stripe. Gets out there by himself. Nice run down to the turn. J.R. Shepard falls in just behind there. Nose to tail. Everybody settling in back there, Chris.
Yeah, I think it's to the point where you need to get to the bottom, and that's what looks like everybody's doing. We got 2 and 3 wide here, mid-pack, but otherwise single file. And it's going to be Ernie Brown leading the first lap, a single file all the way back to about 5th.
Man, I thought I saw some almost 3 wide action back there. It looked like maybe Neff and Wolfson were involved in that. Moving through the field quickly here, though.
And we got a battle for 4th. John Holcomb on the move. Looking inside of, or make that Holcomb under attack, I should say. Donnie Moore looking inside here for 5th.
Yeah, Donnie down there on the inside. Holcomb trying to hold him off. Neff coming around. Got a battle for the lead up front. Ernie Brown. Oh, J.R. Shepard trying to make a move on him. Can't pull it off. Ernie playing good defense early.
Oh, car in a wall. Turn whatever quarter it would be 4, I guess. He's spinning.
That's Holcomb. Holcomb hits it hard.
Somebody else involved, too.
John Holcomb coming off the last turn. We'll see it here. We're riding with him there. Number 69. Gets loose up in the wall.
He just got too high off the corner.
Yeah. Caught way too much of it. Tried to keep it up there, it looked like. And does anybody else get him? Oh. That was close. Poor John Holcomb. A lot of damage on that car. Going to get it back down to the pits. Going to need to take that fast repair early, Chris.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
I'm sorry, we're on board with Lowell Jewell's view here. Boy, I couldn't get those 2 words together. There's Lowell checking up on Tim Knott. Oh, Lowell just get contact with the right front. Lowell has to bring it into the pit. Obviously, some right front damage on that car. He's back out and he's clean and ready to go. So is John Holcomb, Chris.
Yeah, John Holcomb actually had more issues going on the pit road. He went to cut down off the dog leg and spun it into the inside wall, so even more damage for Holcomb. Not a good start for him, but you know what? It's early. Get that reset, use it now, and you never know. He could be back in it.
He certainly could be, but that was good news for Ernie Brown. Got off to a nice start. He'll get to restart single file. J.R. Shepard will be just behind him. Richard Blake off to a good start. He'll be 3rd, Shinosky in 4th, and then Donnie Moore will round out the top 5 to get restarted.
Yeah, I think I'm officially going to call this turn 4 off of what should be turn 4. Because, I mean, I'm sitting over here like, okay, is that 4? Is that 5? Pocono calls it 3. It's 4. Why not?
Yeah, we'll go with 4. We'll be consistent. We'll go with 4. Sounds good to me.
One of those left-handers.
Well, not a bad start to the race. Just a little bit of trouble. You know, again, can't make a mistake here because that wall eats you up. And it looked like John tried to keep the car up in the wall to avoid coming back down, but unfortunately it got the better of him. The pace car is in. Here we go, back to live racing. Ernie Brown leading him off of turn 4. There he goes, Ernie on the pedal. Gets a nice jump. Gets a really nice jump on J.R. Shepherd. Everybody nose to tail throughout the field.
Yeah, Shepard trying to get a run there off of 2. It looks like he's going to dime in a corner. Look at him, high entry into the middle. Going to bring it down low, trying to cross over. That's what you do.
He's looking to make that move now, isn't he? He was all over Ernie. Gets a really nice run off the top of turn 1. Ernie driving it a little bit better now, though. That's a good battle. That'll heat back up here in a moment. Looking back through the field, everybody's still nose to tail. I think we got that first yellow out of the way. Everybody ready to settle in here for 100 laps of racing in the SK Modifieds. Right now, 88 laps to go. We are early days, but Ernie Brown is the man on a mission right now, looking for a big win tonight.
So if I told you Brian Neff was the man looking to make a move for 5th, would you be surprised? I'm not, and that's what he's looking to do right now. You got a blanket above the front 6 right now, but Neff looking to dime it into turn 4 and make this move for 5th on Moore.
His old buddy Donnie Moore. Those two have certainly rivaled before and love racing next to each other. So that'll heat up, I'm sure, in just a moment. But up front, Ernie Brown still really in command. J.R. Shepherd seems to have backed off just a bit. Got to take care of the tires. It's a long race and it's a fast track. But again, Ernie Brown, that Frankenstein SK Modified, off to a great start this evening. Side-by-side racing just behind them. Brian Neff on the inside. And Donnie Moore has to let off going into the turn. Oh, and up top.
Shinosky got the wall. He made a great outside move and lost space off of 2 there and got the wall.
Yeah, he was battling with Richard Blake, and he did. He got all of that concrete. Car not in bad shape. Brian Neff just down below Shinosky. Shinosky powers off the turn. Can he hang on to it up there, side by side?
I look kind of like Martinsville all over again when Shinosky made that move to the outside to win that race. He tried it again there.
Boy, and he almost got a piece of the wall again, coming off 4. Still battling with Brian Neff. Neff able finally to clear the pass on Matt Shinosky. Back up front, J.R. Shepherd looks like he's maybe getting a little impatient. Starting to work on Ernie Brown again, Chris.
Oh, trouble car in the wall. Chris Wolfson hit it in the dog leg. No caution. He's going to keep on going straight, but Chris Wolfson in the wall off 2.
Does not bring out the caution. Let's check it out on the replay here real quick, Chris. There's Wolfson in the 17. So far, so good. Let's see where he gets in trouble. He's got nobody behind him. I got afraid he probably spun by himself off the turn. Car gets up into the wall. Man, that's right where you're trying to power through there, and he got just a piece of the wall. It was enough to slow him down. Car not in too bad a shape. He saves it. Battle still rages on up front. Ernie Brown's got it. Richard Blake in a battle with Donnie Moore, trying to bring Brian Neff along with him. Donnie Moore on the inside. Blake caught up top. Oh, and up front. J.R. Shepherd all over the bumper of Ernie Brown.
He's going to give him the chrome cage. They'll have horns.
Yeah, baby. That the chrome horn out early tonight. J.R. Shepherd, the man wielding it. Donnie Moore gets around Richard Blake.
Should mention Philip Temples is taking his car behind the wall. Looks like he'll be the first one out of the race here this evening, unfortunately.
Tough night for Phil, man. I hate to see that. Going to be a tough hit the points for him. Ernie Brown and J.R. Shepherd, I'll tell you what, they're coming up on the back of the field, man. Chris Wolfson, John Holcomb got to get busy.
Yeah, these 2 cars, you see, looks like Wolfson going to get past. He is Wolfson going to go past Joe Marks, actually, who's off the pace for some reason here in the 13th position. But Ernie Brown doing a great job holding off Shepard, who's trying to do whatever he can to pass him cleanly. But that's going to let Donnie Moore come in here very shortly. We might have a 3-car fight for the lead.
Yeah, well, Donnie Moore, the benefactor of really right now, Richard Blake holding Brian Neff up just a bit. Neff not able to get around Blake. Donnie Moore been able to get away. Got a pass for the lead. He's going to try it. J.O. Shepard going to the inside. Got to back out of it. Lets Ernie go on through there. He's got the momentum off the turn. Heading into 3. Nice run. Ernie going to still remain the leader.
Yeah, Shepard's trying to dime in a corner off, but I'm just not
Neff
seeing
to
it
the
working
inside.
here.
Oh, he's around. Richard Blake's around. Neff was to the inside of him. I don't know if there was contact, but they got side by side, and Blake went around.
Uh-oh, I think a good friend of ours showed up. You're going to see here as he goes into turn 1, our good friend Mr. Netcode has appeared.
I think so. I didn't really see any contact. Boy, they were close, but they certainly didn't touch. Yeah, that's a shame. Let's take a shot from above here real quick. That'll probably give us a really definitive look at it. Here we go.
Yeah, you see them on the front straightaway here. Neff gets a good run, looks low. He has the angle into the corner, and then it's unfortunate netcode. You see right there, and spin him.
Yeah, Neff's line never really changed, and neither did Richards. That's a shame to have that happen here, still in the early stage of this race. But Richard going to get back on track. Going to have a lot of work to do. John Holcomb gets the wave around that time. He gets one of his laps back. Ernie Brown going to restart. Still the leader. J.R. Shepard going to restart this race in second. Donnie Moore in third. Neff up to fourth. Shinosky in fifth. Ryan Nuss sitting there in sixth. Tim Knott, seventh. Tim Shinosky up to eighth. Lowell Jewell in ninth. And Lucas Stinziano rounding out the top 10, Chris.
And look at the rest of the field. Ralph Connor, Richard Blake, John Holcomb, you mentioned, got the wave around. Chris Wolfson, and 2 cars now behind the wall. Joe Marks is recently retiring his car. And Philip Temples behind the wall. So, tell you what, looking at some of the guys we mentioned. You mentioned Neff. He's up to fourth now. Tim Knott, the guy who's pretty much dominated everything that is to come at Concord this weekend. He's up there in the 7th position, so he's working his way up there. So, anything can happen here. Still got plenty of laps to go. A good 68 to go.
All right. Looks like we're getting one more wave around. There's John getting his wave around. So that means the pace car is going to take one more trip around. So we've seen a little bit of battling so far. We've seen some guys pull off a couple of moves. Basically what you're waiting for is that guy in front of you to maybe make just a little bit of a mistake on his line going in his entry and have to give a little bit. Opens that door up for you just a bit. If you can get a wheel in, get the power out, you're probably in good shape, Chris.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. And the problem, though, is you got to be careful of the old low loose line. So basically you got somebody above you, you get loose or whatever and drive right up into them and spin them out. You could use the Neff example for what just happened there, even though it was netcode. But yeah, you got to be careful.
All right, and the pace car peels in. Chris Wolfson catching up to the field, but Ernie Brown going to start him off. Here he goes. Green flag is out. Ernie Brown is off and at him. Gets a little bit of a slow start there. Drags the field in just a bit. J.R. Shepard able to hang on to second. Donnie Moore and Neff already battling. Shinosky hanging on to fifth. Nose to tail. From front to the back. Across the line again. Man, they are wicked fast here, Chris.
Short track racing at its finest here. I was watching Shepard into turn 1 there, putting 2 wheels underneath the yellow line there, which I found interesting. Ooh, Neff getting in the back of Donnie Moore there, and he might lose his spot here. Shinosky, nope.
Yeah, Shinosky thought about it for a second. Neff having to back off, tried to stay out of Donnie Moore. Did a good job, able to hang on to the car. Shinosky did a good job at not getting in an Neff. A lot of give and take right now. May not be with 10 laps to go, but there is right now for sure. J.R. Shepard just trying to find a line to get around Ernie Brown. He just can't find it right now.
And he's got to be patient. That's the main. Oh, outside here.
He does look to the outside.
Oh, I was looking to see a crossover there.
Yeah, well, Donnie Moore's now in this picture. Here comes Donnie. He's diving it in there. Diamonding it off that turn just like you were talking about before.
Ooh. Shepard getting a little loose off 4.
And this is officially a 4-car battle. Brian Neff into the picture. He's been able to finally catch back up to him. A little slow on the restart, but he's definitely caught him. 4-car battle up front, and the battle behind, not far from those guys. Just about 0.3 of a second, so not far at all. Great racing here on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and the one thing I bring up, Sean, is you talked about the laps you ran. I got done running the 500 laps at Bristol last week, and it's the fact that you get no break here at Concord. You go into turn 1, you're pretty much turning all the way to turn 4, and even then you're on the straightaway for about 3 seconds. You get pretty tired here pretty quick.
Yeah, and for those new to the sim racing world, listen, it's all about settings, how you have your wheels set up. Battle for second place. Oh, J.R. Shepard up at the wall. Donnie Moore able to get by him. Shepard was loose off, grabs the wall, eats up a bunch of concrete. Oh, gets a little bit of it again there, I think, off the 4. Brian Neff now trying to put the move on him. J.R. Shepard back to the pedal, but Ernie Brown getting away. Donnie Moore taking second place, moving on up.
Tell you what, he made a great job setting it up.
Shepard.
That's going to cost him 3rd.
There goes Brian Neff. Up to 3rd.
Shepard's going to kind of rule low contact there. He's going to regret making that move to the apron like that. But, you know, he tried to make the move and felt like it was the most evasive maneuver he could do to miss it.
Well, he did a good job of controlling the car, though, and not bringing out another caution flag here. That was a really good job. But Ernie Brown is running, baby. Donnie Moore on the hunt. So's Brian Neff. That's your new top 3. J.R. Shepard back to 4th. Shanoski battling with Ryan Nuss.
Yeah, how about this, Sean? The top 8, 2.6 seconds apart. I hear contact caution out. Trouble, front stretch, big wreck. Holcomb. Richard Blake in it. 1 car on its lid.
That looks like Lucas. No, that was on his lid. That was actually the 66. I believe, yeah, that was Richard Blake on his lid. Watching Holcomb here on the replay. Let's see if it started with him. Here he comes off the turn. Oh, yeah, that was Lucas. That was Lucas Denziano there in the 57. He gets in trouble. Just hits that inside retaining wall really hard. Car goes spinning around, and then he collects those behind him. There you see, off of turn 4, just gets in there. Holcomb hits him hard. Chris Wolfson gets the last bit of that to tangle up in there. That's a tough break for those guys. Already having trouble this evening. Going to find themselves back there probably for the rest of the night. It's going to be tough to make that up. We know Holcomb had already taken a fast repair. I believe Richard Blake might have also there, Chris, so that's trouble for those two.
Yeah, that's definitely not the way you want to end your race, a wreck like that, especially already having issues running in the back, and then all of a sudden a deal like that happens. You're definitely feeling frustrated and probably in that mode of like, I just want to get out of here.
I think we've got a barbecue in the pit.
So pulled pork, we're in Carolina.
Yes, sir, we are. It's a smoker down there for sure. Well, I'll tell you what, Ernie Brown, he's got a fight on his hands now. These two dudes behind him, Donnie Moore, Brian Neff, they're not playing, man. They came to race. They've raced with Ernie for a long time. This is going to be a spirited battle here with now just past the halfway point, 48 laps to go. Let's run down the field real quick for you, okay? We've got Ernie Brown in first. He's been up there all night. Donnie Moore in second. Brian Neff up to third. J.R. Shepard in fourth. Matt Shanoski in fifth. Ryan Nuss sixth. Tim Knott seventh. Tim Shanoski in eighth. Lowell Jewell in ninth. And Ralph Connor rounding out the top 10, Chris.
Yeah, and 11th and getting the wave around Chris Wolfson. The rest of these cars are on pit road or behind the wall. John Holcomb, Richard Blake, Joe Marks, Lucas Tiziano, and then Philip Temple is unfortunately going to be last, but certainly not least on the field. And that barbecue's still going on down on pit road. Might want to check on Joe Peak to make sure he's not already down there.
Yeah, well, I hope Joe's still in the booth and not down at the barbecue. But man, we're like I said, we're just past the halfway point of this race. Time to get busy. And I got a feeling the battle up front is going to be an exciting one. The pace car is down pit road, making its way in. Ernie Brown takes him around very slow through turn 3 and turn 4. He gets to the stripe, lays off. He's on it now. There we go. The green flag is out. Nice run down into 1 for Ernie Brown. Here comes Donnie Moore. He got a nice run. Neff laid off just a bit. But they are running, baby. Here we go. Back up to speed. Donnie starting to look for it. Was able to gap him just a bit there. Trying to get a little bit better run through the turn. Gets a lot of power there. Car goes out wide. Gets so close to the wall there off, and then had to get it back down to the left.
Ooh.
Through turn 4.
Battle for 6. Tim Knott looking to make a move inside. He got a little loose off the corner, though, on the bottom, and almost putting the cage to him.
Tim hungry tonight, man. He wants that sweet. He's got to get it. He's running out of time. He's got to make a move.
He started 12th, running. So one car got the wall.
Oh,
I think
Brian Neff almost wipes out in front of the field, able to hang on to the car, still able to keep himself in front of J.R. Shepard.
By the way, I did get a text from Joe. He said that they're having ice cream.
Yeah, well, that ice cream's melting with the rate that smoker's running right now. On board with Brian Neff, looking back at J.R. Shepard sitting there in 4th place in a number 98. J.R., said it wasn't one of his more favorite tracks, but having a pretty good run nonetheless. Up here, it's some tough company for sure.
Well, the one thing you're seeing is it's all about track position in this kind of race. I mean, you're not seeing many guys come back to the front of me. Okay, Neff maybe won and then Tim not, but otherwise, you start up front, you pretty much have been up front.
Well, they definitely have settled in. They are burning off the laps quickly. It does not take long to get this thing done when you're running 15 to 15 and a half second laps here, Chris. Again, these cars just so fast here. This is really one of the legends of this track is it being one of the fastest half-mile tracks around.
It's funny because they say Bristol's the world's fastest half-mile. I think the slogan I read for this track was the world's fastest tri-oval half-mile.
Yeah, and just to think, tri-oval only half-mile. It's just trouble with Ernie Brown up front. We're gabbing about the track, and Ernie Brown gets a little bit of the wall, hangs onto the car. Donnie Moore all over that opportunity, though. Brian Neff back into the picture. He's worked his way back to the front.
Front 7.
Yeah, that little bobble there by Ernie.
Back, trouble, turn 1. It is Ryan Nuss, it looks like.
Boy, that was Ryan Nuss in trouble with Tim Knott. Oh, man. Tim Knott gets caught up in that, gets some damage on the front end here. We're looking at Ryan Nuss now, the number 13. There's Tron. Got Shinosky in front of him.
Yeah, you're going to see on the front stretch, you're going to see Knott make a move here he might regret.
Oh, yeah, maybe just slight contact there with Tron, and, man, that's all it took. That's going to slow down Tim Knott. He's going to lose a lot of positions there. Maybe even a little bit of damage. I have not seen him come in.
It's kind of like one of those deals where in road course racing, you don't want to drive underneath somebody really quick into a corner, almost like a dive bomb. Kind of a similar situation here. You saw he had to run low and try to dive it in there, and at the point where Nuss said, well, I'm already committed here, and bam, there was the contact.
Boy, I'll tell you what, man. That, looking from that angle right there on board with Tim Knott, that might have been even a little bit of net code there, too. I don't know. That was awful close. He might have gotten the horn to him just a bit. But, tight racing in these machines generally doesn't work out well when you're close to either one of those Nerf bars or one of those wheels. And Man, it sure did not work out for Ryan Nuss. Unfortunate for him. Actually, not too bad for Tim Knott. He stays in 6th place. So Tim's still very much still in the hunt, but we don't know if he's working with maybe just a little bit of damage on the front end of that SK Modified.
We definitely hope not, but no pun intended there. But you just, it's one of those deals where it's close racing, it's short track racing. You just go with what you got. You got to kind of put that behind you. Don't let the past reflect it and just go racing. And, I mean, Tim's still in the 6th position. He's got a chance. He's going to feel bad, but you got to put that behind you.
Yeah, time to move on. Richard Blake getting a wave around. That's not going to get him back on the lead lap, though, unfortunately. He'll get him 3 laps down. He'll be the last one getting it here. I'll have one more trip around with the pace car, and then we'll get restarted. Ernie Brown been the man in command all night. Only 32 laps left to go. We'll restart with 31 to go. Donnie Moore and Brian Neff have done a good job to work their way up. J.R. Shepard done a good job holding down here in the top 5. But the battle for those top 3, man, they're going to mix it up here with the number of laps we've got left. It's time to go, and Ernie better get a good restart here. If he opens the door for the Hounds, I got a feeling they're going to come on in. Here we go. The pace car is in. Ford Mustang peels on down. Here comes Ernie Brown out of turn 4. And there he goes. Finally, he waited till the 2nd stripe and gets a decent start, but Donnie Moore's right there. So's Neff. Woo-hoo, here we go.
Everybody's single file, still being patient as you still got some laps to go. It's hard to believe, 70 laps in 26 minutes.
Just flying, baby. Ernie's on it now. He's found that rhythm again. Here he goes. He's got to get back into that rhythm. If he can stay in it, man, doesn't make a mistake. I got a feeling he can pull this off.
Might sound like the movie Groundhog Day, but Neff's starting to put pressure on Donnie Moore.
Yeah. No, we've never seen that before. Never.
Nah. Spoiler alert.
Boy, Ernie just seems to do a little bit better. They're charging hard behind him, trying to find a way. Oh, here comes Neff. Maybe, he thought about a move on Donnie. Now Neff having to watch out for J.R. Shepard.
Run for 2nd. Here he goes.
Oh, look at the run J.R. Shepard got almost into the back of Neff.
You got to be careful. You get out of the gas, lose your momentum, all of a sudden you could be falling back 2 spots. I really think it's going to come down to a bumper or a cage on these cars to move somebody out to get the win, because Ernie's not going to leave that bottom line.
I'm not going to count J.R. Shepard out yet.
No.
Neff looking to the inside again.
I think if you're on the lead lap, you can win this.
Yes, absolutely. I think you've got a chance. Yes, sir. We saw it in race number 1. We could see it again tonight. Neff still looking for an opportunity to get by our friend Donnie Moore. Donnie's not opening that door for him. Not yet. May not at all. Neff may have to make that door open. I don't know. We'll see. He's right there, and he's down to the inside. Oh, and he has to let up just a bit. You get in there too fast, you will run right up the track, Chris.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that, because right now with the line of cars, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all in a single file line here, you could fall easily back to the 6th position if you move out or get shuffled.
J.R. Shepard having a solid run, man. It was all over the bumper and Neff.
I tell you what, running up front will give you confidence. He talked about in the pre-race with you. He said, "Yeah, I'm not too good here." He hasn't been out of the top 5 yet.
Nah, he's been solid, man. Really has.
Looking at Neff here, good battle.
Ooh, Ernie with a mistake. Ernie makes a little bit of a mistake there.
Tell you what, Donnie Moore made a mistake too. He left the door open for Neff here. He's there.
Oh, man. Donnie.
Contact.
Neff doing the best he can not to turn Donnie around. You can tell.
That cage is going to work.
It sure is, man. But I'll tell you what, that battle has led to Ernie Brown. Oh, Neff looking back to the inside. Oh, man, he couldn't do it. Ernie getting away. Ernie coming up on Chris Wolfson. Wolfson going to have a decision to make.
Hey, what? Look at Shepard looking low on Neff almost there for a second, but Ernie Brown's walking away with this right now.
And there's Matt Shinosky lurking in
Oh,
fifth.
mistake by Moore.
Neff trying to take advantage of it. Can he do it? Oh, baby, they're going in. Wheel to wheel almost. There's Shepard just behind Neff, looking to the inside of Neff. Almost makes contact. Shepard's got to roll out of it. Chris Wolfson up high, out of the way. Oh, Neff went up top, had to make a dive down so he didn't hit Wolfson. Ernie driving away. He is opening up his lead on the field.
This is fun.
Yes, sir, it is. Rankins.
Contact with Shinosky and Tim Knott, I believe. They kept it single file, though.
Brother, we've got 12 laps to go this time by. That Krankenstein racing machine been up front all night. Donnie Moore, Brian Neff fighting really hard just behind him. Both have got a podium finish locked up if they could just behave. Neff trying to find an opportunity. Donnie just making it really hard now, Chris.
Yeah, Donnie's almost running the yellow line all the way around. Watch his coming off turn 4. He just sticks around that yellow line and almost blocks the move by Neff, and it almost tempts Neff. You know what? Why not try the outside here?
Well, they've been fighting so hard for so long, you wonder if they either of them have anything left. I don't think they...
Non-pass Shinosky for 5th.
Not getting one more position. That's a good run for Tim Knott, man. He had a lot of work to do, got in a little bit of trouble, and still manages to find himself now up to 5th. Ernie's checked out on him. He's up to just over a second now, and really the battle is for second. Can Neff pull off a move on his old buddy there, Donnie Moore? I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. It's been tough tonight to make a move unless somebody makes a mistake, and Neff looks to the inside. It's not there.
Neff's been very conservative going into the corners underneath of Moore, but sooner or later he's going to have to be aggressive and make a move.
Oh,
Or Shepard's going to take it, one of the two.
Shepard almost giving Neff a little push. Shepard up on the outside, trying to find his way around Neff. Opportunity not there.
6 to go.
I can't believe this race is almost over, Chris. Where
Time
did it
flies
go?
when you're having fun.
Yeah, it sure does. I'll tell you who's having fun. Donnie Moore got a mirror full of Brian Neff. Neff got a mirror full of J.R. Shepard. Having an awesome run this evening. But Ernie Brown, man, he has been the class of the field. He's got to come across with 3 to go.
Oh, Neff outside.
He tried. He thought about it.
And Shepard's going to get the low line now.
This, oh boy, oh, and Neff is around. Neff is around. Oh,
That's
a
it.
little bit of contact with J.R. Shepard. Neff is around. That will end the race. We will not get enough to restart. Ernie Brown's going to win this thing going away. The battle for second and third, though, ends in disappointment for Brian Neff. Donnie Moore will slot into second, and I believe Tim Knott will move up to third as a result of that.
Wow.
We'll see how that winds up here on the timing and scoring, but I think that's how it's going to wind up. Oh, man, what a battle.
Ernie Brown going wire to wire.
You saw it there on the GSRC replay. What a battle that ends up just in total disappointment for Brian Neff. The white flag is out. This is the last lap of the Outlaw 100.
Hey, wait,
Concord Speedway.
we got Oxford Plains next week. I can't wait.
Yes, sir, we do.
Let's do it tomorrow.
What a race. And again, it was J.R. Shepard was coming hard, man. I mean, he was looking for, an opportunity to get himself on the podium, and there was a little bit of an opportunity there, and the win is in the books. Ernie Brown is your winner across the stripe, leads him across here under yellow, but Ernie Brown, your winner in the Concord 100 this evening, and a great win it is. He's going to be a very happy man. I can't wait to talk to Ernie. We'll do it here in just a moment when we come back from break. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll be right back. We are back on the Global Sim Racing Channel and iRacing Live. Welcome back in, everybody, here to Concord Speedway. Saturday night, the Outlaw Modifieds have just finished up 100 blazing laps here at this circuit that found Ernie Brown making his way to the top and winning this race. Ernie puts it on the starts on the pole, finishes it up front. First place for Ernie. Donnie Moore, great battle with Brian Neff, and second. Third place goes to Tim Knott. Tim, a great night, great weekend for him. Fourth place to J.R. Shepard. Matt Shanoski in fifth. Lowell Jewell getting himself up to sixth place. Not a bad night for Lowell. Tim Shanoski in seventh. Ryan Nuss had a little bit of trouble this evening. Finds himself there in eighth. Ralph Connor, ninth place. And after Brian's trouble there, Brian Neff, he winds up in 10th.
Yeah, definitely a tough finish there for Neff. The rest of these guys pretty much had issues throughout the night, too. Chris Wilson, last car in the lead lap, finishing in 11th. Richard Blake ended up on his lid. He finished 12th. John Holcomb, Stiziano, Marks, and Temples all behind the wall at night's end.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, again, that was a good one. I hate to keep going back to that, but you can't deny it. We had a great one this evening, and I'll tell you what, part of that good race we saw and good fortune is going to go to Tim Knott. Let's talk to Tim Knott here. Tim, we've caught up here with you down in the pits. Got the car in, the belts are off, you're out. Buddy, you just completed 250 laps here tonight. And all of them on the podium. Not bad, brother.
Not a bad night, Sean. Not a bad night at all.
Well, you didn't have a great starting spot, but where you finish is more important. A little bit of work for you tonight out there.
Yeah, that was the hardest driving race tonight of all three of them.
Yeah, and you had that little incident there. Was there any damage on the car?
I don't think so. We barely touched, and I think I got away okay.
Yeah, and we saw a little bit of net code out there this evening, and don't know if maybe that was the case with yours, but certainly conditions were ripe for not promoting good side by side racing or close racing. But you got to be happy with the third place. You're going to do really well on the points. Like I said, you've done really well by winning the first two races tonight, the trucks and the super lates. Going for the sweep tonight. Any disappointment, or are you really happy to just where you finished and what this is going to do for you in the championship hunt?
At Concord, I'd have been happy with top tens all night. Well, I'm extremely happy tonight.
All right. Well, you know the drill, man. We get back on the road and head over to Oxford Plains. What do you think?
Might go on vacation next week. No, I'm teasing. We'll be there. We'll be there. We'll put on a show.
And you'll be ready, I'm sure. All right. Well, that was Tim Knott, driver of the number 41, representing the great. And now we're going to catch up here with Donnie Moore, our second place finisher. Chris, I believe you have checked in with him.
Yeah, I got Donnie Moore here with us, who started in the sixth position tonight, worked his way up to second. Seemed like you had a number 60 car, Donnie, pretty much on your cage the whole entire time. You guys worked your way up to second and third at one point before the issues at the end, but a great run for you in the end.
Yeah, it was a good run. I'm happy with it. I had to drive a little more defensively than I like to, trying to keep Brian off me. And a great run by Ernie Brown. Geez, I wasn't going to catch him, and he was smooth, didn't make any mistakes.
It looked like passing was not easy to do out there. I noticed you a couple times tried the whole outside under move and different things like that. Was it real tough out there?
It was definitely tough to pass. Yeah, Brian, he'd get a run on me, get on the inside, and I'd get back around him on that dog leg. So yeah, it was tough to pass.
Well, you get some good momentum here, second place run, and now you get ready for Oxford Plains. And the only question I can think of is, did you bring your off-road gear just in case?
Off-road gear for Oxford. I love it. I love Oxford Plains, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Donnie, we do appreciate your time. We congratulate you on your second place run tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week on the Plains.
Appreciate it very much, Chris. Congrats to Ernie. Good run, Ernie.
There you go, Sean. Donnie Moore, second place run. Momentum going to Oxford.
Well, that opens things up for Victory Lane here, the Outlaw 100 Victory Lane, and I don't think we've talked to Ernie in a while. Ernie, it's sure good to have you back, buddy. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. It's been a while. Glad to be back up here.
Always enjoyed having you in the booth and talking with us, and man, it comes on the heels of a great victory tonight. They had nothing for you, sir. They really didn't.
I don't know. I never looked in my rearview mirror, man. I got out front, and I just kept looking forward.
Yes, you did, and it's certainly easy to fight the clean air, but not easy to fight this track. This is a tricky one. You seemed really dialed in, but we did see a couple of small mistakes that brought the field a little bit closer to you. Talk about those mistakes real quickly.
Yeah, I got a little too high a couple times. There was grip up there, but at track it was kind of like running on dirt tonight. You almost had to slide it up a little bit, but it just got a little too high. Running about the middle lane was the place to be.
Well, and you also did a great job on the restarts this evening, and hats off to you. That's probably going to get you up to the top 10 in points, and a good night for you. There's still plenty of time left to go. We head to Oxford Plains next week, race number 4. Ernie, you ready?
Oh yeah, I kind of like Oxford. It's not a bad little track. It's a tough one, but it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be some tough competition, no doubt.
Ernie, are there any easy ones here in the Outlaw Modified series?
No, not with these guys, man. They make you work for everything you get.
Field's just too deep, too good, huh?
Oh yeah, there's any of them guys out there can grab a win at any time.
Well, sir, it was you tonight, and we congratulate you. Great victory for you this evening. Really enjoyed watching it all go down. We'll see you next week at Oxford Plains, sir.
All right, I thank you guys, and hopefully we'll be back up for next week talking to you again. Y'all have a good one.
All right, that was Ernie Brown, driver of the number 8 Krankenstein SK Modified. Great race tonight, Chris. Give us your thoughts.
I just hate to see it end so quick. About 30 minutes or so to 100 laps. Pretty impressive there. But, I've been impressed with the 2 races I've got to do with you guys so far. It's been a blast to be a part of, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Of course, next week, Oxford Plains and no outside walls, hence why I made the off-roading joke in the interview with Donnie Moore. But should be a very fun race around a track that really don't have any straightaways at all.
Yeah, and when you run off there, literally, you run off into another zip code. I think I've made that reference before. So bring a small overnight bag with you, because you might need it.
Yeah, you might need your overnight gear. Let's see, you probably want to make sure your gas tank's full and everything else we talk about during ice storms.
Well, sir, I thank you for tonight and being with us. Let's talk a little bit about the Bootleg series, the league. Tuesday nights, every Tuesday night, the Copper Line Legend Series, 7:20 Eastern Standard Time. They run the traditional Legend tracks, and then they have the White Lightning limited late models, and they run the same tracks we run every week here. They'll be at Oxford Plains Tuesday night, and then Saturday night's the big one. They run the trucks for 50 laps, then the Crooked Still late models, and they ended up here with the Outlaw Modified Series. Now remember, the Outlaw Modified Series is looking for a title sponsor, or if you want to sponsor a race, give them a shout. They would love to bring you on board. And hey, we have a lot of fun here on Saturday nights. We'd love to have you on board too. Find them at bootlegracingleague.com/sponsorship. And lots of people to thank before we get this thing in the books. I do want to first thank for our streaming equipment, iRacing.com, Motorsport, XSplit, Audio Technica Corporation, Aver Media USA. We always want to thank Dougie Beard. That he is the man, the Ansel Adam of the camera angle. And our music brought to us by Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. You can find those two right there on the screen, ericekholm.com and caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. And you can stay up to date with the Global Sim Racing Channel. Find us online, globalsimracingchannel.com. Find us on YouTube, Global Sim Racing Channel, Twitter, at GSR Channel, Facebook, of course, you can get us there, Global Sim Racing Channel. You want more information about the series, don't forget, bootlegracingleague.com. And fans, you can read about these races every week on iRacing News, written by Chris Wolfson. Chris, next week, the Bootleg Outlaw Modified Series back on the road. Where are we going again, sir?
We are off to Oxford Plains, so bring your off-road gear and anything you need to protect yourself. It's going to be some great short track racing on a Saturday night.
Yes, sir, it will, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thanks to everyone again who's been a part of this. We will see you then. Race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.